Iberia unfortunately doesn't have the best reputation as an airline, so in today's video we fly from the beauty that is Madrid International Airport on board the Airbus A350 in business class to see if that's true.
Hola, buenos dias. Welcome back. It's Alex from Lift On Travel. Today I'm at Madrid International Airport and we're travelling on the A330 with Iberia. Let's go.
The joys of flying business class. Firstly, we get to check into the business class counter, although Iberia's made an improvement here and introduced a One World Emerald counter. That's the level above Sapphire that grants access to first class lounges. Not that Iberia has one though.
So that was new. So if you're Emerald within One World, there's now a specific queue, so you don't have to use the business class. But ironically, that was busy, so I used the business class anyway.
And now it's off to use the fast track queue, which is complimentary for business class passengers. It also took no time at all, and then it's off into the maze that is Madrid Terminal 4.
I've just got to say, this is probably one of the most beautiful airports I've ever been to. It's got this yellow to orange to red tint going all the way along the terminal.
This could be confusing for first time passengers, but we aren't actually departing from here.
So because it's a wide body plane, I'm hoping an A350, but it's probably an A330. You have to transfer to Terminal 4S, and that's what we're doing now. If it's a short haul flight like European, then typically you go from Terminal 4, but if you're travelling on a wide body flight, which is what we're doing today, you need to go to Terminal 4S. And that involves taking the metro. Obviously, because most of these flights are international, you must pass through immigration. So it's midday on Monday. Immigration was easy. I was through within less than a minute. And now it's off to the lounge. Just want to point out, if you're not paying attention, it'd be so easy to miss the lounge, which is this way.
This is one of my favourite lounges. It's very long, but it has a nice, warm, friendly atmosphere, and there's plenty of seating. My flight departs in the early afternoon, so this is what was available on the breakfast menu. A nice mix of salads, healthy fruit, and hot breakfast, which isn't top notch, but it's very tasty. There's also an open bar with various wines. The windows are shaded, but if you can put yourself between the gaps, this is an excellent airport for watching planes. Coming up, I freshen up in the lounge's complimentary shower. We watch some beautiful views out the window, and I'm surprised by the catering on board the A350. I really wish more lounges would do this, having a dedicated resting area for those with long connections. But for now, I've been to the reception and got my code for my very own shower. That's if I can get the code to work. No one could ever argue that this isn't a wonderful experience to have before boarding your flight, and it's really well stocked with amenities. It also gets a big thumbs up from me for having a ceiling height shower head and a lovely but fake orchid.
One of the nicest things about going to an airport lounge, and it depends on which airport, is you can take a shower. So that was really refreshing. Time to get dressed and a little bit more plane spotting.
It's a long walk to the gate, which is at the far end of the terminal. Let's have a look at today's journey. While Terminal 4 is on the left, today's flight is from Terminal 4S, taking approximately 2 hours and 25 minutes and covering a distance of 785 miles.
So that was the lounge with Iberia at Terminal 4S. Firstly, food's really good, loads of seating, really enjoyed it. The only thing is the staff at the check-in, they could be perhaps a little bit more proactive. There was 3 members on and only 1 seemed to be serving anyone. And there was one occasion where I just stood there and waited, but then again the counter's quite high, so maybe that's a reason, maybe they just can't see.
Today's journey is quite special, and that's because it's a bit of a rarity, one of the very few routes where you can fly a long-haul plane locally within Europe. Recently, we discovered that you can fly Singapore Airlines on the Airbus A350 from Milan to Barcelona. What a fun experience. Be sure to check out the video on our channel or at the end of this one. Whilst looking in the duty free, I've made a discovery.
I've just done some checks and I have a suspicion. I thought it was an A330, it turns out it might be an A350, which is a welcome upgrade. And yes, would you look at that, what a beauty. A350. I know online that a lot of people give Iberia quite a bad reputation, and there's quite a lot of people who will completely avoid it to start with. So I think it's important to do this flight to see what they're like, the A350 product, so just have to bear in mind. That's not always going to be on the route, but it's going to be as fair and honest as possible.
Boarding was a good process, with some very organised queuing for different boarding groups, something its sister airline British Airways is very hit and miss with. The business class is laid out in a 1-to-1 configuration. It has a lot of good features, but there's also the fact that it's becoming a bit dated. The seats are staggered, so you could find yourself with not much privacy. The safety manual can be found below. And the legroom is decent, although I can see my feet falling off the edge. There are plenty of ways to charge your device, and a little LED light. Buttons, buttons, lots of buttons to control the seat. Sadly I didn't have enough time, although, being honest, I was actually distracted by a movie. There was also an adjustable armrest, although I couldn't figure out how to put this down. You have to admit, I did learn 6A for the view. My Spanish is terrible, but I believe it's something along the lines of doors are closed, everybody's on board, and it's time for the safety announcement. At this distance, you can probably see the cascading colour on the steelwork that holds up the terminal. Simple, but pretty. And with the takeoff out of the way, let's delve into the in-flight entertainment system, which is a really decent size and also full HD. It is somewhat obvious, but let's put it into English to make this a little bit easier. Was I impressed? Actually yes. There was a decent choice of films and plenty of new releases. I guess highlights is what's picked by Iberia, and they've got kids and obviously classics. Unlike British Airways, who has teamed up with Paramount, Iberia's paired up with HBO. It's very clever, you get hooked on 3 episodes and before you know it, you've signed up. With so much content to choose from, I don't tend to listen to music, but this should give you an idea of what to find. There's a play section where I'd have been surprised if it didn't have Angry Birds, and finally, a kids section. The headphones really don't look very premium, but they were decent, and they did do a good job of keeping out external sounds. What has also surprised and delighted me is that I've been given this nice and very beige Amenity kit, which is odd because typically most airlines won't give you one on a short haul flight, so they made a really nice welcoming change. Inside you get some really nice items, including a facial mist, although the socks look old in beige. Couldn't they have gone for a red? That's right, it's time for the loo review. There's 3 at the front and none at the back, until row 36 in economy, so expect the old passenger from behind to appear. Sadly, Iberia didn't opt for the windows on the A350-900 in the bathroom, but it's still a lovely modern toilet with some nice mahogany style panelling, and the flush mirror with the lighting is a nice feature. Back in 6A, I'm about to demonstrate where your table for the meal service appears from. It's a good use of space keeping the tray table here. Once down, there's some movement, but not enough should you need to get away from your seat. The meal starts with a traditional Russian salad, served with roast beef, and then you can choose either the aubergine with stuffed prawns, or as I picked, the homemade cappellacci artichoke pasta. I wasn't wowed reading off the menu, but actually it was incredibly delicious. And the homemade tiramisu to follow needs no words, it was glorious. I should have known I was in good hands, as Dough & Co always produces really good quality and tasty airplane food. And then, totally unexpected, but after the meal service, the surprises continue, with this delicious tasty little chocolate handed out by the cabin crew. After the meal service, I continued to enjoy a movie, whilst being distracted by the beautiful view out the window. This was closely followed by some mild turbulence just off the UK coastline. What really made my day was our approach into London Heathrow took a path over Weybridge in Surrey, which delivered this incredible view of a British Airways Concorde at the Brooklands Museum, as well as what I suspect could be Farnborough Airport, which sadly ceased allowing members of the public to its biannual air show not too long ago.
Baby, ahora sin ti estoy tan solo, no es fácil. Te quiero, baby, hasta que nazca el sol.
Today's flight certainly had quite a few nice surprises, starting with the fact that the A350 took the place of the original A330. It should be noted that at the time of flying, Iberia was operating into Terminal 5, not Terminal 3, which is usually their home, and it's a mad rush to make the shuttle back to the A gates for today's conclusion.
So that was my flight with Iberia. Would I recommend them? Yes. So maybe I got lucky, or maybe they've had a big change, but firstly they've got menus which I haven't seen before, and that was really welcome, really nice design. The chocolate after the meal was really good. The seat, didn't get to try it in the flat mode, but I think I'd give it a go long haul and see what it's like. It was really wide, really comfortable. That's for the cabin crew. Well yeah, everyone was really nice, and even after, the lady went round, I think she was like the chief steward, and she was asking people, you know, how was your flight, did you have a good time, smiles all around. So big thumbs up for me. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and like below.
Dime, ¿cuántas veces me volviste demente? Ahora sin ti estoy tan solo, no es fácil. Te quiero, baby, hasta que nazca el sol, hasta que nazca el sol. Dime.